How does the UNFCCC support least developed countries, LDCs? Have you ever wondered how international agreements help countries that struggle the most with climate change? The United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change plays a key role in supporting least developed countries. These nations face serious challenges due to their limited resources and infrastructure, making it hard for them to tackle climate issues. The United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change is an international treaty that aims to stabilize greenhouse gas concentrations in the atmosphere. It includes specific provisions for least developed countries, ensuring they receive the support they need. One of the main ways the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change helps is through technical guidance and support. The Least Developed Countries Expert Group assists these nations in creating and implementing national adaptation plans and national adaptation programs of action. Funding is another critical area where the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change steps in. The Least Developed Countries Fund is set up to help these countries carry out their adaptation initiatives. This fund is essential for enabling them to address the impacts of climate change effectively. Capacity building is also a focus for the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. It offers training in negotiation skills, language, and public awareness programs. This training helps least developed countries participate more effectively in international climate negotiations and implement climate-related projects. Technology transfer is another important aspect. The United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change facilitates the development and transfer of adaptation technologies to least developed countries. This support is vital for helping these nations adapt to the impacts of climate change. While the primary focus is on least developed countries, the support mechanisms provided by the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change can also inform strategies for addressing climate change in polar regions. Both least developed countries and polar regions face unique challenges due to climate change, such as rising temperatures and shifting ecosystems. The strategies developed for least developed countries, like adaptation planning and technology transfer, can guide efforts to manage climate impacts in polar areas. The emphasis on international cooperation and support for vulnerable regions is a broader framework for tackling global climate challenges. The support for least developed countries highlights the importance of tailored assistance and capacity building in regions most affected by climate change, a principle that can be applied to polar regions as well.